Hello.
Hello.
Morning.
Today we get a special treat.
What's that?
My doggy.
Yes.
Hello.
Thank
There he
you.
is right there. If
Cute.
he gets kind of loud, I'll mute. Uh-oh. Do you see something, Tank? That's just the wind, buddy. He's very protective.
The wind and some crows.
When the wind makes the trees move, he thinks it's like someone moving around or something, so he like gets up and stares intently and goes He just sits there and it's like a constant low growl.
Purr.
That frickin' wind.
How dare that wind exist?
Yeah, and if a child walks down the street from the school bus, well, they're at summer right now, so they're all school. But if that happens, whew, watch out, he becomes vicious.
Cool. Let's see. 8. Who wants to go first?
Sure. I can go first. So yesterday I wrapped up on most of the push notification comms on that card, which leaves the actual ad stuff. Um, so I will probably need someone with Photoshop skills to help me out with that. But other than that, later in the night, I started working on editing the engineering video or for the programmer meeting. And I now understand why George and Will were memeing me about that editing process. It's a lot. But I'm almost done, so I'm going to spend some time this morning doing that. In the afternoon, have meetings. We have a marketing check-in, which hopefully will just be going over the programmer meeting and getting team feedback around that and whether or not this content is meeting expectations, as well as how long it took to edit it. We have design time weekly, and then I have a meeting with Carl to go over all of the faction stuff. So most of my day will be meetings. Maybe for about 2 hours, I'll probably spend drafting up some ads for, well, I'm going to assume we're going to just try a test ad for Google and probably Facebook just for keywords. But in terms of where we want to market, we should probably do some research, specifically for playtesters. So yeah, that's it. George.
Okay. I was out yesterday. I don't actually remember what I finished on Friday after our stand-up, so I'm gonna just say UI stuff. Just hand wave it. And today, I worked on getting the UI for what did I do? I stripped out the old stuff that we're never going to use again. Fixed all of the errors that resulted from it. Got ship pop up, or sorry, got the tooltip. That's what it was. The big thing. Got the tooltip working for abilities, and now I have a flow for being able to do tooltips for all of them that uses Unreal's built-in system. So then I can clear out global tooltip like we were intending to from the beginning. And then help out Hans with anything else he needs. I have design time today. And I think, Will, you and I should probably sync up again, maybe after stand up, and figure out like exactly where we are and what the next best step to take on is. So I'd like to do that. Okay. And I'll pick you, Will.
Yeah, the next best step to take on is instant resource changes and displaying them properly to the user.
Okay.
It's really, really difficult to understand the game right now in its current state because there's nothing that describes that. Rates came in yesterday, which I think makes the UI way easier to read. And with that, I found about a bajillion bugs and worked on a bunch of that this morning. Yesterday, I did like, I don't know, 10,000 little things. I think the game is in a state now where, like yesterday, I was playing it and forcing you guys to watch me because I didn't think that you would be able to play it. I think you'll be able to play it now.
Ooh.
All of the numbers are displayed everywhere, so you can theoretically, like, you don't need to have a side sheet for the stats open to understand the choices that you're making. You should, in theory, be able to just click on things and get it as you go. And I think everything's turning on and off correctly. So yeah, I think we're at a point where the game is playable. And bugs should be easier to find. So that was my primary goal yesterday. Now that we're at playable, and I guess we'll check in and see if you guys think that. Hopefully we'll do a playtest today. My next goal is not frustrating. And so thus the instant resource changes. We gotta track those to be not frustrating. And then maybe number tweaks beyond that.
And useful tooltips.
Yeah, tooltips need to be better.
That will make the game not frustrating.
Yeah. One thing with the current state of our numbers and how the game works, and I don't think we're going to be able to get over this week, but I think it's just worth noting. We have player escalation, but we don't have enemy escalation. So if you get to a certain point, you're probably just going to win because your stuff gets better. So we'll need to figure out something to do with that. But anyways, that's me. Carl, have you gone?
Nope. Yesterday I cleared out a couple cards and just fixed that up. I worked on a script I had in my head for sort of a teaser trailer thing that also ties into the intro to the game, and ran it by a buddy of mine, Dwayne, who can potentially help with just tweaking words and then also potentially doing some voice acting for us. Besides that, I talked with Hans about UI stuff some, and poked a little bit at the factions and realized I probably wasn't going to make a lot of progress without Brandon, and so we set up a meeting for today. Today have design time, I assume, even though I don't think it's on my calendar. The marketing check-in and faction stuff, similar to Brandon. And we'll do that stuff, and then from there just sort of see where people need help or what needs to be written and all that kind of stuff, and if we hear back from composer or any of those people. So Hans.
Yeah, yesterday was predominantly UI stuff throughout the day. Last night while I was working, started doing a lot of comparisons to layouts for games like Stellaris and other things of that sort, kind of looking at scale and trying to figure out how far or how not far we should go in terms of scaling UI elements. Started playing with that last night, but only got to the point where I started to figure out really like bucket sizes. We need to figure out readability within those buckets still. So if people are having to squint, my apologies. We're just trying to get through the steps on that. I'll probably continue working on that today, but I'm a little torn as I leave for family camp tomorrow. I've still got a bunch of shit on the board that I have not made a ton of progress on because I've been working mostly on UI. So I'm kind of looking for a read from the team of what's more important for me to really grind on in the near term, like getting the UI moving further, and what areas we feel are important from integrating Tyson's work, or if I should jump in and try and drive the playtest stuff and the art asset stuff and things like that forward. I'm a little torn. So any feedback from folks would be appreciated. I feel like moving forward on the UI stuff just to get as much as we can in seems to be the right call, because I can jump on some of that other stuff at the beginning of the next sprint, but I don't know. So feedback, feel free and shoot it to me. Right now, the last thing that I absolutely have to do is I need to get through some of the scalability on the info bar to make sure that it's actually readable. And George talked me off the ledge in terms of the automation on the info bar, not necessarily needing that for the next round. Just making sure that it is at a point that it's usable, but it's not taking up like a third of the screen. So yeah, that's the main thing I'm gonna definitely get done today. And then after that, I'm looking for input on whether I should keep going on UI or I should jump on the other tasks, trying to integrate some of that text and get the playtester stuff rolling. So, yep. I think, who hasn't gone? Brandon?
Everyone's
No,
gone.
You went.
Everyone's
Yeah.
gone.
Everyone's gone. I think that's everyone.
Hans, I think that getting anything we need prepped for Tyson tomorrow will be high priority. I think making sure that Chris doesn't spin his wheels while you're at family camp would probably be good. Whether that's setting him up to talk to me or whatever. And then yeah, I would guess that the UI takes precedence over everything else.
Yeah.
I think if
mostly, go ahead.
I think if we're actually going to ship the game on Monday, that we shouldn't be putting in a lot more UI work.
We shouldn't or should?
We should not be putting in more UI art. I think like I just think we're going to work against readability. I think we should focus on the UI art that we have now and try and figure out how to make it readable rather than keep putting in new art and hope that it actually matches our game mechanics.
I mean, I don't think we're putting in anything that isn't already in the game.
I mean, every time I play the game, I think that there are parts of our game UI that don't at all work towards the readability of our game in its current state. And I want to change like a million things. So I'm just anxious about us putting in new things because I don't think that those things that are in the game now were made.
So I'm not talking about adding more art. I'm talking about continuing to work on what we have to get it to a point that we can read. Like it's I have tickets that have not moved because I've been focusing on getting this stuff done. And I got to choose one or the other. Should it be focusing on iterating more on making the UI more readable and more like, information hierarchy and all the dialog boxes and all that kind of crap? Should we be doing that work, or should I be trying to get the other stuff moving?
I like the fact that, like, for example, the dialog boxes have the background now.
Yeah.
The 9 scale, that kind of stuff. I like the fact that the bottom left looks like what the UI is going to look like eventually down the road. Yeah, and other than, but we've already discussed about, the small text, but other than that, it's like, I think it looks fine. I think it looks great, actually.
So
Yeah.
there's no way for me to really, I mean, unless you guys would prefer, like, I don't check shit in for long periods of time. Like that's my only concern is that's why I've been checking stuff in, even though like, yeah, okay, so it's still not that readable in the left-hand side, but I'd rather not just leave that checked out for a day while
Yeah.
I'm iterating through that shit. So if I'm checking shit in too frequently, feel free and tell me.
No, I
like,
think
it's
that's the
gonna
right
have to be
approach.
ability
No.
to play the
I
game.
agree. That's the right approach.
Checking things in often is the best approach, for sure.
All right. So I'm gonna go down the path of just trying to. I'll get the stuff taken care of that you were talking about, Carl, and then the rest of the time I'll focus on trying to get the rest of the readability in for the dialog box and the info box. If there are other areas that people are like, yeah, this needs focus, let me know what it is, because those are the only ones right now that I feel like are screaming they still need like serious like edits to what the original design was to make them actually readable. So if there's things that people are running into, let me know.
Yeah, I mean, I think capturing those, like Will, you mentioned that there's a million little things you want to change. Finding a way to capture that stuff, right, would be good.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it, the one thing that I want to throw up the flare on is I think we should capture as much of the stuff as possible, but find a way to mark it where we groom through it before everyone jumps on it, right?
But like UI bugs would be great. If somebody hits something that they're like, this is awful, like they should like go ahead and make a card. But if it does look like it's in flight, just feel free and ping me and I'll let you know if it's something that's still being worked on. Because we don't really have an exhaustive, like, I mean, you kind of put together a big exhaustive list of UI elements, George. I don't know how well that would translate over, but maybe it would.
Sure did. It definitely it's got everything. So, well, actually, hold on. It might not have everything. Let me double check.
Yeah, I mean, if we just capture all the UI bugs or UI changes, we can always triage those. And like even if you capture something that is an in-flight thing, like worst comes to worst, it just gets automatically fixed as Hans is going through stuff, right? So, but we should be making sure to capture that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I captured one of them.
Cool.
And I put your face on it.
Is it in the bugs?
Yep.
Cool. Thanks, Will.
Oh yeah, we still have that other bug too. Can't select ships after jump.
No, I really don't think we have it. I've tested it like 10 different ways. I've never seen it occur.
So I get it almost every time.
Me too.
I get it 0 times. So I don't know what's going on that's different on our computers, but I've literally never seen it for 2 weeks.
I mean, well, okay, so it's obvious we wouldn't just say that. So we do need to figure out what's happening. Maybe we can
I don't
debug it
think
together.
I can fix it. Maybe that's a better way to say it.
I was going to say maybe we could try and debug it together.
Yeah. See if we can get a good solid repro. And
mine is pretty much, I don't think I've ever been able to jump and click things. Let me try it now.
Yeah, that's what I was just doing.
Same, I'm about to jump into a game.
All right, I see a ship. I see a ship. I see a planet. Jump. Fade.
Well, I can now click things.
Hey.
9,000
Let me
survivors.
try jumping again from here. Maybe it's how I jump. I wonder what was causing it.
I cannot.
You can't click things?
No.
Oh, no, I can still click that.
I can click UI things. I cannot click space things.
Yeah, they're all working fine for me.
Because I know that's happened to me too multiple times, and I can't remember what was causing it. Well,
yeah, I mean, I have no idea how to repro it. I've never seen it. Well, it's not true. I've seen it, but we fixed it 2 weeks ago, and I've never seen it since.
Yeah, because I was assuming it was because we had the dialogue box that would pop up on screen. I was assuming it was related to that. But that's gone now, and I'm still getting it. So
wait, the dialogue box is gone?
Yeah,
The one-
the occasional where you get some of the ship box that would pop up at the beginning.
Which one?
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah, that it's something you fixed, George.
Okay.
I thought it was related with that, but
Oh, what I meant is I know exactly what you're talking about. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible you're clicking on something that I'm not clicking on and it's stealing focus.
maybe.
Maybe that's a thing. I don't really know how focus works. I just
Yeah.
know that we shouldn't have it on anything.
Okay. Did you just get it again, Hans? You said you got the same
Yeah.
bug?
Yeah, I was
Okay.
going to go through and do some testing after we're done here. See if I can get a
Okay.
repro, like if I can get it to go both ways or if it's just always that way. I'm going to do a force update first. So
Oh, I just crashed.
Ruh-roh. What did
Yeah,
it say?
that will definitely happen.
I don't know. I'm still waiting for it to
Generate the thing.
generate the thing. Yeah.
Okay.
I did find the hashtag bug and got that one fixed, George.
Oh, was that the thing that was occasionally crashing with the spawn conditions?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, that was pretty frustrating. It would just
Also, the
randomly
way
happen.
that our event pump works right now, you can get a really happy jump in as your first jump in, which is
That
really
happened to
funny.
me earlier today.
It's really weird.
Happy?
yeah, I
It's-
kind of wonder whether we should, in the first system, if we shouldn't have any events pop in.
Well, we can just change the event queue so it starts at
Yeah.
1.1 or something,
Yeah.
so it doesn't.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Yeah, on the first jump in, it popped up Carl's face and said morale plus plus. And I was like, that's not very realistic.
Boom.
That's just kind of mean.
Okay.
Still waiting for
Do
this
you want to
crash.
talk UI, George?
Let's do it.
Okay. Should we do it
Do you
here
wanna-
or go somewhere else?
I don't know. We can go to Kodiak. Did you want to join us, Han? So you're kind of up to
Sure.
speed on where we're gonna be going in next, or are you good?
Sure, I'll listen in.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna cancel this and call from Creepy Kodiak. Bye.
Bye.
See y'all.